Good morning, Daily 5. This is what I'm going to call it. I just want to feed your brain with whatever it is going to soak up. I was listening to this speaker today, and he was talking about Helen Keller. If you don't know who Helen Keller is, she was blind, she was deaf, but she was a very smart woman. She changed this world for a lot of blind and deaf people. You can research her more. Find out a lot. She's way more than that, but it was talking about how growing up there was a lady that was helping her, and her name was Anne Sullivan. Anne was having a hard time just kind of figuring out how am I going to teach her, how am I going to do anything effective with the blind and deaf, And something clicked in her one day. She took her out back, and there was a water spout. Anne put her Helen's hand underneath the water spout, and she spelled out on the other palm. She spelled out WATER. Well, right away, Helen didn't get it all the way, and she stayed the course. She kept doing it. She did it again and again and spelled it out again. WATER. Well, after a little bit, Helen squeezed her hand. I get it. And through that time, that night, she learned 30 words. In months, she learned even more. And like I said in the beginning, she ultimately changed. She got a college degree, a blind deaf person, and she changed the world basically for anybody that was blind and deaf. And I was thinking to myself, how did, and he went on to talk about how understanding, if you can say it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be taught. Like when you're instilling stuff in your children and people around you, it's not going to be taught or learned, I guess you could say. And he went on to say, they learn when they are ready to learn, not when we are ready to teach them. And he went on to talk about some other things about. He met a kid, and he was really intrigued on this kid. He's like, well, how is your character and your morals, and let me know how was it through your life? What made you such a good, great man, young man? And he said, well, when I was 9, my dad came to me and he said, hey, there's going to be some things that go on. There's going to be some things in life while you're growing. I want you to come to me when these things happen, and we can talk about them. We can go through them. And he said, well, what did he do when you were 10? And he said, he brought up some other issues, and he did that through my life. And I was thinking to myself, and this guy even says, he's like, he had grown kids, and he was thinking that it was too late, and he was kind of feeling a little upset. And he basically said, you know what, it's never too late. It's never too early to lead, guide, and walk beside our children. And it's basically because we're older, and we've been through different things, but a lot of our kids, my kids, I'm thinking to myself, how does that affect me? Well, there's going to be things that they have happen through their life, through their years, through their marriage, through their relationships, through their school, with their friends. And I think it's important for us to talk to them, sit them down periodically, just to say that, there's going to be some things that go on in your life. And when that does happen, I am here to talk to you. And we'll go through it. We'll get through it together. So, the things that I want you to think about, and the things that I thought about, I guess, is our words are going to evolve. What seeds are we planting? And we got to dig those roots. You know, these kids, the seeds, we got to make them have roots. What we are trying to teach them. There's so much more to it than this, but my 5 minutes is up. So they're the biggest investigators in the world, our children. So they're going to learn from somebody. Why not learn from us? And instill good values and good morals and good things. Even set ourselves on the right path to be better examples. All right, I've gone over. You guys have a great day. Thanks for spending my lunch with me. Later.